Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Veronica.
Wow. Hi, Harrison.
Hello. We're both wearing
Hello.
black today?
We are.
Ah, nice. Nice. Because this is episode 51 of the NgoVo Convo podcast, where two stupids make it hype.
Right?
It's hype, yes.
It's hype this week.
It's hype,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Harrison No, and I'm joined by Veronica Vo.
Hello. I'm right here.
She's over there.
He's right there.
What direction is that? I don't know. Check her
I
on
don't
YouTube.
know. Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
But if you're new here, we just both want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from animated comics. Some would say conversing.
Wow. Like NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo. Beat you to it.
I'm glad you could. Yes, you did. I'm glad you can smell very fast. Spell,
Yes.
smell.
You said
spell.
Spell?
You
Words
can
are
watch
hard.
You can watch every episode on YouTube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice.
We're everywhere.
Or where.
Everywhere.
If we're not, just let us know at this point.
And then we will be everywhere.
Soon. TM. I mean, yes. In this episode, Veronica, we're going to talk about Doctor Strange.
Wow.
Specifically, the one movie in the MCU. Right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of I was like, wait, there was only one movie, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
the only...
I had to think about that because I was like,
yeah, I was like,
yes.
Because I mean, he's been in other ones, but we
Yeah,
want to
he's been in
focus
other
on
ones.
this one
Yeah.
because by the time this drops, the week after,
The
that
week
week,
of
after, the week of Doctor Strange
2 comes
Multiverse
out.
of Madness comes out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both correct titles.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Wow.
yes. I'm better.
It's been a while since Doctor Strange came out. It came out in
Yeah.
fall 2016.
Yeah. 2016. That's
Been a
crazy.
while. This might be one of
And-
the longest sequels,
between-
right? Breaks between sequels, right?
Possibly. Yeah.
It's a long one. It's a long
It's a long one.
Yeah.
I mean, when did Black Panther?
We'll talk about
think-
it. Yeah, we'll figure it out
more
later.
about it.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's just been a while. That's all.
Math is hard. All right, but if you haven't watched this movie yet, it's on Disney Plus. Go watch it
Go
real quick.
Watch it. Yeah.
I did right before this. Just saying, it's possible.
I did too over the
So
weekend.
come back in a couple hours because I did see how long it was. So go ahead and watch that real quick, or just skim through it if you want to have an idea. Or, I mean, if you don't care about spoilers, yeah, just chill here. We'll just talk about it
Yeah.
because it's been out for a while. I feel like it's okay. We don't have to give our non-spoiler thoughts.
We don't. No.
Yeah,
It's been 6 years. You should have
It's
seen
been-
it.
yeah.
You should have
Yeah.
seen it.
So go ahead and do that. Come back. We'll just talk about it right now. But
Yeah.
by the way, we are also sponsored by Anchor, but we'll get into that later.
Much later.
Much later. Really quick, I realized I didn't have a Doctor Strange shirt. So,
So you just wore
at
a
this
Deadpool.
point, I just
What
wore
am I
Deadpool
wearing?
because it just works. Whatever.
I'm just wearing a black shirt.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I also wore black because let's be real here. If you haven't seen the trailer for Multiverse of Madness, there's a dark Doctor Strange, evil Doctor Strange.
And
I don't know.
another. Yeah.
That's a stretch. That's why I'm wearing black.
Yeah. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens though.
We'll go with
See
that.
what happens. Yeah.
But, Veronica,
Harrison.
I just want to say that after rewatching it,
Uh-huh.
I had this idea, and I eventually will do we probably should do a tier list. I say should. I would like to, of MCU movies or MCU movie shows.
Movie shows. Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I rewatched it in anticipation of the sequel because I actually kind of forgot how cool of a movie this was.
Yeah. I would agree.
It's
been I mean, like I said, it's been a while. So obviously in the 6-year span, you're not gonna think about watching this again.
No.
till the
No.
sequel comes out.
And I mean, I feel like it was one of those movies for me personally that I wouldn't really be like, oh, I need to go watch it again, because it's not really it wasn't really one of my top ones.
Mm-hmm.
But rewatching it again, I was like, oh, I remember what I liked about it, and yeah, I can go with it.
Yeah.
But what about you? Anything else to that? Like, because after rewatching it, did your feelings change at all, or?
I sort of did. So I remember watching this. I think we saw it together. I'm pretty sure we saw it. Probably, yeah.
I just assume any Marvel movie.
Yeah, that
we had our
together,
group,
yeah.
and we just went.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw this, and I think when it first came out, I liked it, and then I think when I rewatched it, it's still good, but I think it would have been better off if I didn't watch it again, because I might have like disliked some items in the movie.
We can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I started like disliking some things, and I don't know if it was like the pacing or like the scripting, but just some things were like a little off for me this time.
Okay. Or I guess like what? What?
I think like here, I'll go with the pacing.
I'm curious. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
pacing.
Because I remember really liking Doctor Strange when it came out, and I rewatched it over the weekend, and something was just off to me with the pacing, and I don't know what it was, to be honest. And I don't know if it's like, because this movie is technically like a training portion for him, like he's like kind of like mastering.
It was
the
his
power.
It was an whole arc. Yeah, it was a entire arc about him just learning about essentially like how to be a better self. Oh my god, I can't talk all of a sudden. This is a podcast and I can't talk.
Words are hard. I just couldn't pinpoint it. I know we had a conversation like an hour or two ago, and you were like, "Oh, it's really good," and I was like, "I agree. Like, it's really good still." It was just something about the pacing this time around that I did not like, and I don't know if it's like me sitting and like watching it without the hype, like without like the midnight hype, you know?
Yeah.
Or if it was just like it's been 6 years. Now I'm like rewatching it, and it's just like a little off. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just like,
no.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just how it felt. It was just the pacing was a little weird, and then
I agree.
Yeah, and then I guess some of the like dialogue was kind of off to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not the comedy portion, because I enjoyed that. Well, you know, it's just Marvel comedy, just spits.
Yeah,
out
it's
here
typical Marvel
you know.
comedy. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Marvel one-liners and all that.
Yeah, yep. Marvel one-liners, but if I felt like the dialogue was just not very, it wasn't grasping to me fully.
I guess can you explain a little bit more on that?
I guess it was just like, I think when Strange was talking, and I don't know if this was like because he was in Spider-Man and he had like a bigger role off of his movie, and so he was like talking a lot and like kind of like guiding Peter, and in this one he was kind of trying to find himself, but like, I don't know, it was just like the dialogue was a little off to me. But I think it's because Strange is really like we were introduced to Strange, so he's really arrogant, so it might have been just his personality that I just did not like. But I don't know, it was weird.
That's so funny because I think he's just always been. I think I just always assume he's this arrogant dude.
Yeah.
And so me rewatching, I was like, yeah, this sounds about right. I remember him and Tony Stark were probably the two assholes that I'd say.
Yeah.
That come to my head. No, and I guess just to clarify for me, I thought it was good, but then also when I say good in terms of Doctor Strange, I kind of tried to say in the beginning, I had this memory of like it being okay.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more like, oh, it's better than I remember.
Yeah.
I think but again, it's like one of those, I think it felt a lot more Disney-esque in that, or I guess Marvel Disney-esque.
Like Disney-fied a little bit?
Not really Disney-fied. I'd say like the scale of it is huge, but felt small.
Ah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like the implications of what could go wrong is huge. And I think rewatching this movie, it is actually going to be a good jumping back, but jumping point.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good step back to this because they kept alluding to multiverse stuff already at that point.
Yeah, I
And now
noticed
we're
that
in
too.
that, yeah, right. So that's why I was like, oh, is this a good spot to go back to then build off of? He was technically the first person that dealt with the multiverse stuff, like just the idea of multiverse.
Of like messing with time, and like you could
'Cause at the
tell Wong was like, you don't mess with time. Like
Yeah.
this is a bad thing.
And it's so funny because I'm like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Why? Because all he's been doing, all that has happened, is a lot of time.
Yeah,
Like
time.
connect. Wow, I can't think all of a sudden. They essentially any problem they've had, they solved. Any
With
big
time.
one was time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with him, whenever he's involved, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense why they're going back. Because there's going to be an issue with the multiverse because it wasn't just him. He was tampering with time. So
Yeah.
time.
Time. And seeing that Infinity Stone again, I was like, oh.
It's also funny to. Okay, I also didn't feel like the bad guy. It was just the bad guy was there to introduce Dormammu, the idea of Dormammu, and also like the idea of like magic and all. Like he's just that guy. He's like, oh, I'm essentially and
He's
I
a
think
follower.
this was kind
The
of
guy was a follower.
not just that, it was like he was supposed to be a foil or like a parallel of Strange, of like, oh, this is the foil, like, oh, he's the bad version. But Strange was the one that, because apparently they had like, oh, they were both like downtrodden people that came to seek help, and then this is how they like essentially turn out, right? So, and I think that was also the issue with Marvel at the time, and that's also just comic book villain issues where it's literally just, here's the bad guy, but he's just like the good guy, but flipped.
Yeah, they were like
he was just
they mirrored.
just a mirror image.
Yeah, they were mirrored image of each other.
But like,
I don't totally get it.
Yeah. So I thought that was the extent of it for Strange, but then I was like, oh yeah, and then I forgot Mordo, right? Is that this?
Mordo.
He's a thing because he just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Since the movie, so that's why I was like, the implications of what happens here are huge, but it just felt small.
The scale was small.
Now, but I think that's also just us coming back to rewatch this because now we've had other, like, the universe is bigger now.
There were tons of other movies that came out after, so like, obviously we know what happens with Strange, like throughout, phase 3 and this upcoming 4 we're in right now, in the middle of it. So
So I mean, I agree with you. I think the pacing was like not the greatest either. It was just kind of, I felt it was like boom, like we're here, we're here. Like
it was like choppy. It's kind of choppy.
And I think even the final conflict was okay.
Yeah.
I think the conflict over time was okay. It was really just I when I rewatched it, I just was more interested in how things work. But maybe that's just because me going back, I'm like, all right, how does things work now, knowing
what happens,
what I know, like what I know now, like how does, I was like trying to see, oh, did you drop any breadcrumbs? But in the entire time, it was just multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really quick, we're just gonna take a quick break to talk about our sponsors.
On this episode, we are sponsored by Anchor. It is a free podcast hosting service that we actually use. We've been using Anchor since we've started the podcast. It's because there are creation tools that allow us to record and edit the podcast right from our phones and computers. A huge plus for us is that Anchor would distribute our podcast to all platforms such as Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and many more. It really is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one spot. Please download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, anchor.fm to get started.
And we're back.
Wow, that's a clip. We should clip that.
But I mean, I could just put effects on that. I could just do that TikTok effect thing, whatever. I don't know how to do it, honestly. I just seen it. I was like, oh, that's cool. But
it was nice to see Benedict Cumberbatch.
It was nice to see Wong.
And Wong.
With no facial.
Yeah.
It was no, honestly, it was weird. I was like, oh yeah, that's what Wong looked like the first time around. Because I'm so used to seeing him with hair
Hair.
and
Yeah.
like just
The goatee.
more hair.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Essentially
Yeah.
just more hair. Do you did they ever establish what happened to like the girl he liked?
Oh,
Nothing
Christine
happened, right?
Palmer,
Yeah,
right?
Christine. Yeah,
No, I think it just kind of like that. I
left
think
it,
that
right?
storyline just like fell off a little
Yeah,
bit,
or it could come back.
or could come
Because
back.
it was revisited in the What If series,
Yes, it was
or the idea of that.
the
So
idea.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess rewatching it. Do you have any speculations on the sequel though?
So we both watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Duh, because there's
Duh.
teaser trailer. I think we did the teaser trailer on that. No, we did because we freaked out. But yeah.
As
I think-
as one does, as we do.
As we do. I think Mordo will or whatever.
Mordo will have.
I think he'll have a bigger role in the sequel. I just
Yes.
don't know how big it will be.
Well, because I remember Mordo, I could have sworn, and this was something that I remember rewatching it. I was like,
Because
I
Mordo's
think-
supposed to be the villain for Strange, like the main
yeah, typically,
villain.
yeah. I could have sworn so, but then I started to get second guessing because of like just
Wanda and everything else that kind of
yeah
fell into the trailer.
just how things work.
I
Oh
think
yeah, he's usually like the back. He's usually the back bear.
Yeah,
Mordo.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much of a villain he'll be in the sequel since we have Wanda in here. And Wanda's I feel like Wanda's going to be like the main
You think so?
person. It's just hard to tell.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see how much more we can mess up the timelines.
I mean, we will.
I mean, yeah. And like
100%.
and like what variants will pop in, and I'm very excited because what Strange did in Spider-Man is interesting at the end where he helped Peter. So I was just like, well, will they come in to play, or who will we see? Like, what variants are we gonna see? Who's gonna pop in? There's been lots of rumors lately, and I just don't know what to believe.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the movie, and this is probably like because it was early. Was it Phase 2? I can't remember now. I think it was Phase 2. I think, but Doctor Strange, I think you're right with Wanda. I think she will either be the main villain or the driving point.
Yeah.
To lead to the main villain, because Dormammu is supposed to be like a huge villain, and I mean he technically is in the comics from what I remember, at least in terms of Doctor Strange. This is me also not being an MCU fan. I just don't remember that well, but I think it will. I just hope that the scale works, right?
Yeah.
Because Dormammu was supposed to be this huge thing where when you see it, it's just kind of like the fight was kind of memed.
Yeah, it was.
It was pretty memey. I get the idea of it. It was like it's the loop, the infinite loop, and it dealt with time. I just hope. I hope
they revisit them.
Yes.
Dormammu.
Yeah, either revisit or just like the scale makes it. I think by now MCU or like Marvel has a better idea of like how to handle these big events. Because Caecilius was like just like this antagonist that just felt like I felt like he could have been bigger, but then not. It was just like a lot of
he kept like just popping in and out.
Yeah.
He was just in and out, in and out. And I was like, okay, when are you gonna stay and die or move on to your next thing?
Yeah. I mean, I just hope that I just hope it's. I'm just tempering my expectations. I'm really hyped because I heard that this is gonna be like a really big. The sequel's supposed to be huge. Has a lot of like.
Yeah, people aren't supposed to review it until the day after it drops.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they can't drop their reviews until the day after. Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I what I really hope that it kind of I hope it doesn't just become like a not that I don't want it to be. I just feel like at this point with some heroes, I think they should get some spotlight. And I just don't want it to be a Civil War or Captain America Civil War in that it is a Captain America movie, but not.
But not, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Because Spider-Man, even though it was big on that scale, it still was just a lot of Spider-Man characters, right?
And it was towards like Peter. It was affecting
Yes.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Captain America,
Captain America
affected him, and the fact that it was like him and Iron Man,
Yeah.
and like Bucky was included. Yeah, I just don't want it. I mean, I would like this. This is hard. I think that's a gray area, and that's something tough to balance at that point, right?
Yeah. But I think
So.
Marvel, I think they know where they're going now, or
Yeah.
like where they want to go, and they aren't really going with the formula anymore.
No.
Really, like anything can happen, like moving forward. So
Yeah.
I think that's like the mystery to Marvel now. Wow, we don't know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. I think the bigger thing for me is I just want Doctor Strange to feel as trippy as it did rewatching this. Like I thought
Yes.
I thought the fight sequences and like the everything like multiverse,
The building
like the magic.
moving,
Yeah, I feel like that's the most Doctor Strange thing you can do. Like right now, like we've seen just him doing a lot of like hand signs. He's doing like manipulation. He's doing all these things. I want to see more of that. I want to see
Yeah.
that times 10 in this movie. Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want, and that's what I'm hoping for. Also, sidebar, this just reminded me of like how MCU handled the Ancient One.
Ooh, yeah.
They were trying to be progressive in that they didn't want to be stereotypical. This is their period where they didn't want to be super stereotypical,
And
but
have
it
like
super
an
backfired.
Asian.
But then it backfired.
Yeah, it
it's
did.
like the Mandarin, so they corrected that. So they've talked about it. If I just mentioned that it was like it wasn't a good move on the Ancient One. It was very
No.
like, yeah. At the time, it was like, okay, I get that. They didn't want to like just choose like a stereotype, like you said.
Oh yeah. They
But
were
I was just
stereotyping.
reminded, like
But
rewatching it, I was
they
like,
got
she did-
backfired on that.
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
was it I can't say her
Tilda,
name every time.
yeah.
Tilda.
Yeah.
She was good. Honestly, she was a good actress for that. It was just fine. I thought it was just funny. Like I just remember it being like, that's the thing. While now we're trying to be more accurate to the comics,
Yeah.
and I just thought that was hilarious. Like
I
rewatching
wonder
it.
if they'll fix that at some point. I wonder if they'll like
They could do like
revisit.
they could do like a quick Easter egg of a multiverse type thing,
Yeah.
or quick glimpse of like this is like what the Ancient One could have been.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I don't know.
Because I
guess
mean,
we'll
they
see.
fixed them. They fixed.
They fixed Mandarin. That'd be cool.
Mandarin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So who knows? They could. It could be like a quick. I feel like on this scale, it would probably just be a quick pass by. Like, here, look. Okay, cool.
2 scenes and like they're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
They fixed it.
They fixed it easy. Yeah.
Do you think Moon Knight ends the week of when this movie releases? Do you think Moon Knight has anything to do with Strange?
Not really.
Yeah.
I personally don't think so. Do you?
I don't think so either. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think
I
Moon
think it's
Knight
just-
is like his own thing.
I
Right now.
think I know initially we talked about it probably. Or we
Yeah,
talked on the
yeah,
side,
we
we
did.
talked on the podcast.
Yeah.
But at first we were like, oh, what if they do something big? Who knows? But at the rate that Moon Knight's going, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's just more like, oh yeah, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And it just happens to end for marketing purposes. You
I
know what I mean?
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, for viewership.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want to split or like cannibalize themselves. So I don't think so.
I don't think so either. They're just two separate items right now. I think they can't. I don't think they can connect it at
Yeah.
any point.
And I think that's just the sorry. Again, this is like another thing of like Marvel has this reputation, in my opinion, where everything's so well connected that we are
Yeah.
so built on the hype
Yeah.
of like what is.
And
Theory,
we're
like
we're
theory
and
crafting
we're
and all that.
expecting it to connect too sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think at times is not. That's so. This is what I'm trying to get at. Also, is like with Doctor Strange, I'm just worried that we're trying to like built, and this is jumping off of Spider-Man. Spider-Man did it beautifully in that like they connected a lot.
Oh yeah, a lot of
And
characters.
I'm just worried like Doctor Strange is, if they're gonna try to get to that point again and recapture like, oh, here's another like big ensemble of everything, and then
Yeah.
that's just what the movie's built on.
I
We'll
don't
see.
know. We'll see. I'm really
We'll
hyped
see.
though. I'm really hyped for
Yeah.
the sequel.
Yeah, but overall, I think going back to the movie, I thought like for me it was just a pleasant like, oh yeah, it was better than what I remembered. It was still a fun watch. I paid attention. I honestly I was just having it on the side as I was doing other things, and I ended up actually focusing more on it than I thought. I think that's
Yeah.
what I was gauging it off. But I agree. I think the pacing was weird, but I still think what I still love about Doctor Strange is like the magic, the like
It's
the
weird.
the comedy. It's weird. It is
Yeah.
true. It is a trippy movie, and I want
Yeah.
more of that.
No, I totally agree with everything you've said. Like rewatching it and all the fights and all the streets kind of like folding into themselves and the buildings moving like really trippy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. I was staring. I was like, wow, it's like Inception but weirder.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, I'll also add, it was a lot darker than I remember. As in, like, I forgot that Caecilius cut off the librarian's head at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, right. That's a thing. And I forget that Doctor Strange gets stabbed. But
Yeah.
the fights are so trippy that he, like, astral projection and, like, does all this stuff.
All the weird
So-
magic stuff.
Like, I'm not trying to rag on the movie so much. I will, like, there's the action and, like, the fight sequences, like, all that, the trippiness is just good. It's really, that's why I think for me it was just better than I remember,
Yeah.
because I think everything else has overshadowed it, and it's also been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I'm ready for more trippy stuff.
I want more trippy stuff. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
I want more Benedict. Give me more. More of him, please.
More
And
him.
Wong.
Give
Wong
everything.
too. Give
Wong too.
everything.
I can't wait to, yeah, I just can't wait to see the scale of it again. I think the magic and all that is what I'm ready for. More beards.
More beards. More cape.
More cape. Oh, actually, yes, cape. 100% top tier.
Top
Love
tier.
it. Good-
Top tier
good stuff.
sidekick.
I forgot like how he was introduced and all that. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I remember being super hyped seeing like the can't say it else. The Sanctorium.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The New York, seeing the New York one. I was like, yeah, I'm so bad with names. What's
It's fine. We were hyped over the cape. I remember that. We were like gasping over it.
Yeah. So rewatching it, I was like, oh yep, that's still funny to me. I think
Yep.
it's great. So it's fine.
Totally fine.
Totally great. Totally hype.
Totally hype. Right.
Hype. Do
It's right to hype.
you have anything else?
I don't. I think we're just
No
very
closing
excited.
thoughts?
No.
I'm excited to see what's the new thing, and I actually can recommend this movie again. I think it's a fun watch.
It's a good watch. Good watch.
It's a good
yeah.
watch. Fun watch. But if you got nothing else,
Have nothing else?
gotta
Go
close
watch
out
it.
then. Go watch it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo.
Wow.
If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button and notification bell to get updates from when we upload, and subscribe.
It's big red button.
Big
Can't miss
red
it.
button. Can't miss it. Let us know how we're doing, what you want to see next. But the next thing you will see is probably going to just be our thoughts on Doctor Strange.
Strange.
So we'll be doing that soon. Cough, cough. But other than that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.